Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
Saturday, August 30th. Kiev's night was shattered by Russia's deadliest strike in months, a blow aimed not just at Ukraine, but at Europe itself. Zelensky said it clearly, a strike on Ukraine is a strike on Europe and a strike on Trump. And the White House, it called the attack not surprising, then pointed to Ukraine's precision strikes on oil refineries, as if dismantling war machines is equal to targeting the innocent. It isn't. One is defense, the other is terror. Peace cannot be built on false equivalence. And indifference is not neutrality, it is permission. Welcome, you're watching Ukraine Update with the Shills. I'm Slavi, your co-host. Let's say hello to the host of the Shills. Hi, Dick. How's it going today?
Going well, personally. I wish we didn't have these big attacks to talk about and stuff. There's a little nonsensical talk about some peace stuff as if Vladimir Putin would ever agree to anything other than give me what I want. But lots of shells getting over. There is some good things, some good Ukrainian attacks, some successful stuff as well. And then there's the big question. Trump's health. How bad is it? And is he even still with us? Because, wow, people are running wild with that one. So, yeah.
I was going to add the Pentagon pizza tracker and talk about it. But I couldn't find a segue from the attacks, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Commander Macmillan, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Bionic settling in, nice, feeling good?
Oh, yeah. I'm hobbling around fairly easily, and I can go up and down stairs without having to do the one step at a time kind of game.
Cool.
So I'm pleased with progress.
And then we have Johnny. How's it going today?
It's going pretty good. Ukraine is beating Russia everywhere where it matters. Just excited to talk about those news.
Oh, thank you for being here.
So where do we start today, Slavy?
My first thing was to talk about the strike that happened, and it was a huge strike. It happened after Ukrainian Independence Day. During the Independence Day, Russia did not strike because Carney was in Kiev, as well as Kellogg.
Yeah.
So obviously they didn't strike. As soon as they left, Russia unleashed 598 drones. I'll repeat it again, 598 drones and 31 missiles.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It killed at least 23 people, including 4 children, and dozens more wounded. It was hit across multiple districts across Kiev. I think the rescue efforts are still on the way, still ongoing
Yeah.
to today.
I saw some current pictures that were only about an hour old, half an hour before we went live, and there's people combing through. Yeah.
There was even a video that they caught this huge missile going into the building. And we've had images like that before, like what they did last summer when they struck the Ahmadiyat Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
So it was the same kind of slow down. It's terrifying how huge these missiles are that they're launching at dawn.
Yeah.
No fucks given.
No.
And this is happening because, well, United States is letting it happen. Nothing, no strong condemnations from the White House. Trump went missing for about 3 days. And then we had Caroline Leavitt comment on these attacks. And she said, well, that's to be expected. And she put it was equivalent to, well, Ukraine is striking the oil refineries.
Yeah.
So that makes it okay for Russia to kill children. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how out of touch you need to be to have this kind of moral equivalence, because Ukraine is striking the oil refineries to stop Russia's war machine. So they don't have fuel for their military operations.
Yeah.
And Ukraine is doing a fantastic job, 20% at this point. And it's the only sanctions that are actually working. They're actually effective.
Yeah. 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 There was some. Go ahead, please.
I think it's worth mentioning that everything that Ukraine is doing militarily is beneficial for United States economy. For example, when Ukrainians, nobody knows who really did that, but it was a result of the war in Ukraine. And some say it's Ukrainians, but they destroyed the Nord Stream, the pipeline of gas that goes to Europe. United States took over those markets. We started sending SPG gas, which is a boom for our gas industry. Right now, United States is pumping oil like crazy, drill baby drill, which Trump is in love with. And all of this is kind of possible because of this kind of war in Ukraine, the war, and only because of Ukrainian actions, the way they destroy Russian oil industry, Russian pipelines, they're cutting off these oil pipes that go to Europe. United States goes right into that and benefits from this huge, rich European market.
Yeah.
So being an ally of Ukraine, it's a great benefit to United States. And it's kind of sad that the president is not like seeing, maybe he's seeing, but he's not interested in that clear benefit.
Yeah, Captain Puffy Ankles doesn't seem to see things the way other people do,
Dick, the man's a graduate of the Wharton School of Economics. He's smarter in economics than every other human on the planet. That's why we're raising the tariffs, because that will hurt the other countries, not our people that are the consumers. No.
Yeah.
When you promised not to run this country, run his casino.
Yeah.
To add on to what Johnny was saying, it's a twofold effect because not only is the destruction of Russian oil infrastructure better for the U.S. because we're one of the major exporters of oil around the world, it's also crippling Russia's ability to prosecute the war because at this point, the vast majority of their income comes from foreign oil sales. And as of last report from Institute for Study of Warfare, somewhere between 17 to 20% of Russia's oil infrastructure has been destroyed so far. So it's definitely having an impact.
And for Russia, these 20%, they're crucial because Russia is so heavily dependent on oil and gas exports. Like United States exports a lot of oil. And what Ukraine is doing is benefiting United States greatly, but not to the point like how crucial it is to lose 20% of oil to Russia, because almost all of their economy is based on that. You know, our Google corporation is 3 times as much as all of Russia, right? Our Apple is 5 times as much as all of Russian markets, right? So when they lose 20%, it's crippling for them.
Well, another part of it is that it used to be, prior to the war, one of Russia's big sources of foreign income was military sales. And the one thing the war has done is highlighted how bad Russian military equipment is. So nobody's buying that garbage anymore.
Yeah.
So that
also
further puts that onus on keeping the oil infrastructure at peak efficiency for them because it's the only income they're getting, really.
Yeah.
Just to add on a small point to that, Russia does benefit greatly by selling weapons. And somebody made this report that a few years ago, Russia sold $9 billion worth of weapons worldwide. And they compared that to Disney that sold $19 billion worth of just movies worldwide.
Yeah.
Even though this superpower
So
Russia...
You're saying that Disney should start manufacturing weapons to take up the slack.
Maybe.
I've got the Mickey Mouse limited edition RPG.
I'm surprised that doesn't already exist, to be honest.
I think it does exist, that Commander Macmillan knows more than he's willing to divulge.
Oh my gosh, I just the complete out of, but since we're talking about Disneyland, you're not allowed to die in Disneyland because it's the happiest place on earth. You guys know that? Yeah, so if you die at like a theme park, they don't pronounce you dead. They have to wait until your body's carried out, and then they'll pronounce you dead because you can't possibly die in the happiest place on earth.
So you're not dead until they throw you over the fence.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna try to resuscitate you, but if it's not working, like you're not dead. You're not dead until you leave the park. I just learned that recently. I'm like, wow,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
All the strange rules that go with Disneyland.
It just goes to show you can't trust that flipping mouse, you know?
Well, also, Europe got attacked during this attack as well because it was on their buildings, basically. And Europe, there's been a lot of talk. We're back to talking, you know, just when it seemed like, yes, Europe is, you know, doing stuff. It's just all these security guarantees, which looks like they're not going to happen because Russia, surprise, surprise, is not agreeing to them. So, yeah, these security guarantees is not happening, but Europe as well, they need to be providing the money to Ukraine so they can get American weapons. I believe Zelensky is pushing for $1 billion a month. I think Europe, I mean, they have to do this, but they're looking at to get the frozen Russian funds, which they need to start using it, because I don't know if you've passed it, but there is this cutoff, and if Europe doesn't do anything to these frozen Russian assets, they go back to Russia.
Yeah. Commander, you know any details on how that all works?
I am not a financial guru. I can't really tell you, but I suspect it's something in some sub clause of some law somewhere that, if the money has been impounded for this long and has not been otherwise disposed of through legal means, then it returns to the originator.
Yeah.
But, and for how long they've been planning, well, this money, yes, it should go to Ukraine for rebuilding efforts, but, Ukraine needs it now. United States agreed, yes, Ukraine could get weapons, Europe pays for it, but there's still these kind of dragging and talks.
Yeah, I don't think it's governments that are necessarily the obstacle in the road. I suspect it's the bankers that hold the funds, because they're terrified that if they give the money over to the governments to further transfer to Ukraine, that then the Russians who put the money in the bank in the first place will sue, and the bank will be liable for all that money.
Yeah, and it'll crush future things, and it takes total assets out of the balance sheet, and yeah, man, big business folk don't like that kind of stuff.
Well, either way, it shouldn't go back to Russia.
I agree.
Anything, Russia will most likely not even want to pay reparations. So let Russia, through frozen Russian funds, pay for, or at least start with that, for reconstruction, for the weapons that they themselves have unleashed the war. So,
yeah. And the sad part is, though, all of these huge banker international people, they might have a backbone. They might even have an opinion on all of this and so on. But the almighty dollar reigns supreme. And that is the only thing that truly counts in the end.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, there's still, a lot of elections in Europe that are still coming up. And a lot of it is right-wing governments, and right-wing governments in Europe don't support Ukraine. Yep. And now we're seeing that this past week in Poland, the new guy that won, I forget his name, but he was about to cancel Starlink, paying for Starlink for Ukraine.
Yeah.
Those Poles, I don't know.
Yeah. How,
yeah, they're also, because there's a large amount of Ukrainians in Poland, and I think they're taking away their benefits now as well, unless they're working in Poland. So Poles aren't very nice to Ukrainians. I've talked to many Ukrainians that are that had some insane experiences in Poland. And it's
too bad Canada isn't closer and easier to get to, because it's pretty calm over here. Come on over, folks. We're good about it. Yeah,
historically, Poland has had kind of a checkered history with regards to its relations with Ukraine.
Yeah. They also want all bandera symbols banned in Poland, so Ukrainians can't talk about bandera, and it's
wow.
But it's all Russian, a Russian push of propaganda on Poles.
Russia really amplifies these tensions that have been historically between Russia and Ukraine. I'm sorry, the Poland and Ukraine. We do have, checkered history. It was a history of wars, and there was genocides on either side between Ukraine and Poland. And of course, we're trying to enter the era of peace of both Poland and Ukraine. We want to to live in a new civilized society. Forget the past. Go forward. And it's true that Ukrainian hero Bandera, he is a controversial figure, and for Poland, he was born in Poland, and he was rooting for establishment of independent Ukrainian state, and he was, to Ukraine, he's not to Poland, he's not a hero. He's a hero of Ukraine, but Russia will not let any of this rest. They're going to amplify it. They're going to use it against Ukraine. They're going to use it against Poland as well. When Polish are engaging in these talks, they're repeating Russian points. It's going to hurt Poland. It's going to hurt Polish-Ukrainian relationships, and that's what Russia is good at. They're going to capitalize on it any way they can.
It's just so odd to me how Poland is treating Ukrainians. It's like you want to fight Russia because Poland and Russia have pretty contentious history themselves. Like I don't know if they have ever had any warm, friendly country relations. But you want to fight Russia yourself, please. Go ahead. Because you're next.
Hey, Dick, is there anything we can do? Oh, is it working now?
Yeah. It should be. You're not. Is it still not streaming to your channel properly?
It's just the rerun of the title screen. It's a rerun of the first video. How we do the
fast forward the thing because it does that with me sometimes. It's fine. You just the red ball just
okay. No. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. It happens to me. You just need to catch up with it.
I'm a noob.
Yeah.
I mean, so in either country, there are people who Russia will be able to radicalize, to recruit, for their purpose. And for Ukraine, it's so painful because Russia has been able to organize this raids on Ukrainians, to stop the border between Russia. Geez, I keep doing that, between Ukraine and Poland. So by investing in just this misinformation into Poland, Russia has been doing tremendously for themselves. It's very good for them. So they will never stop in destroying Polish and Ukrainian relationship, friendship. They're gonna point to those painful historical events that happened between Ukraine and Poland, and they're gonna do the same, to wedge something between Ukraine and United States, as they're doing, and to keep United States busy. That's going to the different point. They're gonna wedge anything that if Russia can get United States to go to war with Canada, they will do it because it's beneficial for Russia, and they Trump has been talking about something like that, right?
Yeah.
About Greenland, which is a war with Europe. It's our closest ally, if I'm speaking as an American. And Ukraine is our ally, and Canada is our neighbor and ally. So that's what Russia is good at, and we have to counter that as much as we can.
By the way, Ukraine is still Zelensky is pretty much the only, and Israel are the only countries that are dealing with United States right now, because many meetings they're getting canceled with Trump. Japan canceled it.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the disaster with the South Korean leader last week, how Trump, of course, was praising Kim Jong-un. I was going to say Jinping, but yeah, Kim Jong-un. And he's sitting there, and he started making fun of Trump. He'd be like, you two should definitely hang out for sure with your best friend. Of course, Trump didn't catch on to that, but it was pretty smooth.
Yeah.
But everything, all the meetings and all the deals is getting canceled. Nobody wants to really deal with the United States. Also, I don't know if you guys saw, but a lot of countries in the EU are not shipping any packages anymore to the United States.
And also, can we get some more information on that? Because I also read that message and I trust it. But like my Republican friend, he said, "Oh, I just received something from Italy." So is that like countries, like officially countries are not shipping, but individuals, they can still ship something? Do we have any more details on that?
Yeah, well, as I understood it, it's the companies themselves. They're just kind of like, with everything being so crazy right now, we'll just let inventories run lower. We're not going to worry about it in this moment, and which is not good, right?
Yeah, a lot of it ties into the tariffs, which seem to keep changing.
Yeah.
Oh, the sun came up. Let's change some tariffs today.
Yeah.
And I think it's business interests that are very reluctant to send stuff because they have no idea what the tariff is going to be when that item arrives in the U.S.
Exactly.
And they could be on the hook for some of that.
Yeah, Captain Poopy Pants could fuck them up with one morning on Shitter or whatever he calls that service, right? Gump Social,
Yeah, so I don't know if Italy is on that list, but now you actually have to pay a tax, because before you could ship if it was like under $800 or $600, but now you need to pay a tax no matter how much it is.
Yeah. Yeah, all the small things that people buy because they're cheap and cool on Temu are about to get that fee, the tariff thing applied to them. That little exemption is gone. That'll be a big switch for a lot of people that think they need that little personal fan that takes 2 AA batteries for $6,
And I'm also thinking about the long-term consequences of all this, because this is militant, aggressive behavior.
Yeah.
This is going into the minds of people who are living in Europe and across the world. This is how they're perceiving us right now.
Yep.
Americans are viewing them as not as allies, but as opponents, enemies, stuff like that. So we're just starting with this horrible administration of Trump, but the results of it are going to be heard for many years, possibly.
It wasn't me in the live chat there also made a good point here. The mail services and courier people and stuff have no idea what they're supposed to do, because they could say, oh, you get $16 of import and duties, and then the package actually gets here, but they're on the hook for 37 or 44 all of a sudden, right? But they've already done take your money sign on the dotted line contract with you, so to speak, right?
Exactly.
And you amplify that to somebody bringing over containers or, big crates and stuff. And we're not talking about $30, So yeah, good point. Good point. I want to make a couple of shout out announcements here. So first up, we got Petra Olsen in with 269 Swedish kroners with love to Ukraine, and with so much love it will be put right into the fund pile. Thank you very much, Petra. Niles Knudsen comes in and re-ups his membership. Love it, Niles. 23 months. Holy, almost a 2-year run there. We've got Niles giving away memberships all the time too, so big shout out. Kathy and Brent just switched over to our Patreon with a $10 membership sign up, so huge thanks there, guys. Awesome. And our Patreon is going to be a place that you're going to want to be a member of. There is a free tier, so it's not like some paywall or something, and we can now properly stream private sort of members only videos to Patreon. And there's a live chat and all that kind of stuff. It finally is proper. You don't just have to do like an unlisted on YouTube and then you can watch it through Patreon. It was so stupid. So we're going to start doing some stuff over there. So you'll want to make sure you head over and get your name down in the list. But yeah, thanks everybody. Oh, wait a minute. There's one more now. Silly me. Let's see here. It is, what service am I looking for? Oh, look at that. We got Steve Walsh in the chat coming in with a $65 direct drop into PayPal. Boom, baby. Greetings from the road, just outside of Kentwell, Arkansas, I think. AK Arkansas, pretty sure. Love you all and glory to the heroes. Oh, big shout, Steven. Thanks, man. That's awesome. That'll sit good in the funds. Now, speaking of funds, there's our shout outs. Oh, no, wait a minute. Kathy and Brent just showed up to be Shills Masters here on YouTube as well. So, wow, huge thanks there, guys. That is freaking awesome. I think I'll hit this one, and I'll hit this one. Very cool. Thanks, guys. That's awesome. Now, I've got a couple of cool things to show you. So, number one, the Car for Ukraine campaign for fall, autumn, whatever, has started. You can see our goal for this is 3,667 there, because we're together with a couple other channels to go for a rocket truck again this time. Right. And rocket trucks are a little bit more money, so it helps to, have a few people working towards it. So we'll get the link in the live chat for you, and hopefully we can get a few into that. That would be awesome. Now, I'm going to show you something cool. We've been talking about this for a bit. Here is the auction for the painting of Operator Starsky that our own Dunk did. So let's see, painted, whatever, right? So let me just zoom this in for you. There's an auction running. Rick the Ukrainian's running it on his auction thing. So we've got the link. I think it's the one that's pinned in the live chat. Yeah. And you'll see it there. Starting bid is $200, and it's like Dunk's Got Talent. That's a seriously cool painting, right? It's really cool. So I highly recommend you all check that out as well. And then we do have a fundraiser going on. You'll hear more about this on PubChats. But for our moderator team and research team and everything, because a few people need a few things. So we've got that running as well. That link will be in the description and thrown into the live chat. But today, being Ukraine update, we're very much focused on these two right now. The Autumn Harvest rocket truck fundraiser and the auction for the painting of Operator Starsky. So yeah, I'm caught up. There we go. Kitchen cleaned. Show may awesome. Continue.
Yes. Why don't we go to a couple of questions as well?
Good call.
All right. First question is from Jamie Snow. To the panel, how do we start to convince the United States of America that they are causing World War III?
We'd probably have to speak into a flabby ankle.
Who's going to do the honors?
I just like that somebody is saying that. That's a great question, and we should repeat it. That's a good thing, good message. And it has clear parallels to the start of World War II. Many people has spoken about that. They compared these peace talks with Chamberlain when he came to Great Britain, like flapping that piece of paper, which is not as good as toilet paper of the time. And of course, it resulted in a World War II just a year later. That's all that's happening. I mean, we have historical precedent. We know exactly what's going on. Of course, Russia makes everything more interesting. They put new twists on everything, but that's why we have this meeting today.
Yeah, very much so. Speaking of the twists and everything, we've got the idea for doing a little segment on this show coming up, Debunk the Funk, where we bring up a Russian propaganda video or social media post and just rip into it and have a little fun. So hopefully for all you watching, we're ready to do that next week, and we'll have a little comedic interlude, but it'll still be actually interesting and informative, but we'll, have a little fun with them too.
I'm definitely excited for that segment. Then we have another question from It Wasn't Me. Why does it seem like Russia gets a veto power about European military in Ukraine? It's not like Russia asked Ukraine if they could invite North Korean soldiers into Russia. It's a good one.
That's a very good point.
It's been my question as well.
Hmm.
Why are we seeking anything, any sort of approval from Russia? We know that they're going to say no.
And why is any world leader trying to talk with Russia as if they won't just lie to you and then shoot people out the back door anyway? I mean,
well, in the summit, when the whole thing, when Russia lied, once again said, yeah, we're okay with Ukraine having security guarantees, but now they're saying no to anything of security guarantees. Of course, we all knew that that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But I don't...
No. Security guarantees are fine as long as they don't include joining NATO, signing any treaties with European countries, or stationing any NATO or European troops in Ukraine.
Right.
But aside from that, security guarantees are just great.
Yeah. If you want
to question of then what is a security guarantee?
Yeah. You know, what are they going to do? Let them put up a white picket fence? You know?
Russia is going to do whatever they want, and they're using the talks of
the Russian vehicles are. That might work.
Yeah. What was that, Johnny? Go ahead.
Russia is using the political theater as a tool to just continue to do what they want. They're not taking any of these talks of signing documents seriously. No document signed with Russia is worth the paper that it's written on. That was the famous phrase of, I think it was Charles de Gaulle, and he said that, and basically it was at that point Russia signed, like with Europe, like 130 documents, which they went back on like 127 of them, like something like that. Like the ones that they didn't go back on are the ones that just dissolved by themselves. So when you see that, you know, the Russia is collapsing, when they need help, they're breaking apart, they have revolutions inside of Russia. Then they're gonna go to, let's sign peace deals, let's sign this, you know, we're trying to be good, you know, how about you send us some food like in the 90s? I hope this time United States doesn't do that, you know.
They should send the bird flu chickens.
Yeah.
By the way, apparently experts we shouldn't listen to experts on any kind of diseases going around, according to the guy that can't, of course.
The guy that bathes in poop water in creeks, you know.
Has worms eating his brain, and he's like, we shouldn't listen to science.
He ate a roadkill, right? And then he had a worm in his brain, which was surgically removed later. He's in charge of our like health.
Yeah,
the CDC. I mean, how embarrassing.
How dangerous.
Also just recently banned the mRNA vaccines. I don't want to get into it, but good or
Why
bad.
not? I mean, mRNA vaccine is the greatest thing. It eradicated so many diseases. We saved so many children's lives. And now this idiot with the mentality of the 16th century medieval Europe, he's pulling us into those times. And now we're afraid to talk about it because it's going to offend some anti-vaxxers, you know. I'll just save Slavy some face and I'll say that, you know, I'm against it.
Yeah, and yet, I mean, you know, what's next? Is this guy going to have leeches back on the market for medical use? I mean,
if Joe Rogan is going to approve, then
Yeah, you know.
If Jenny McCarthy says that vaccines are unsafe, who am I to contradict the Playboy bunny?
Well, if having champagne with one, I might agree.
But seriously, that's kind of where the anti-vax movement got its start. because she became a popular figurehead that people could rally around. Up to then, it was just individuals who didn't trust the government or medical science.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, is like Wakefield her uncle or something?
Yeah, it's just like ridiculous.
You know?
Yeah.
Questions.
Yes, questions. Next question, also from It Wasn't Me, to the panel. To be fair to my Polish neighbors, maybe you want to talk about the shitter war between the Hungarian and the Polish foreign ministers, secretaries of states.
I just need 1 sec, guys. Be right back. Hold on.
There's a story there that I'm unaware of.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah, what do we know about that?
I'm trying to remember. I
know that lately Poland has had some pretty good politicians that have been speaking really good, reasonable things, supporting Ukraine fully. And of course, unfortunately, the Hungarian leader is a Russian asset, and he's doing everything to sabotage European securities, and make sure that Russia wins this war. Which is impossible, of course.
Yeah, the Toad, as I like to call him, Orkman, he's been blocking everything for Ukraine. And now he's crying over the Druzhba oil pipeline, because apparently there's no other option.
Yeah. Well, I think we should touch on that a little bit, because that's a great Ukrainian victory. While Trump was crying about peace, Ukraine went and destroyed the pipeline that brings oil directly to the 2 remaining Russia-friendly countries in Europe, completely cutting off those markets from Russian oil, which they should have done long ago. They should have diversified their oil markets, possibly buy from United States, make us a little bit richer and their own selves a little more secure. Instead they keep sponsoring the genocide of Ukrainians, and lo and behold, last week Ukrainians put a stop to that. So I think that's a great thing that Ukrainians did, and it was kind of satisfying to hear Orban wail and cry about that.
It was fantastic watching Zelensky when he was doing his speech about it. He couldn't get through it because he kept laughing.
Yeah.
I wish I had it. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. It's good to see the man laugh. And when he was talking about friendship and everything, he was like, I can't, like he couldn't get through it. It was great. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. All right.
But he was also sincere, because Ukrainians do want to be friends with Hungary, with the whole Europe, with Poland. It's true. I mean, we want to be. We're trying to join European Union. We're trying to join NATO. We're being killed for that.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely sincere when he says, like, we want to be friends, but we're killing your oil right now, because you are actually like supporting somebody who came to kill us, and then after they kill us, they kill you. It's kind of like a non-starter.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Putin promised a part of Ukraine to Hungary.
Yeah.
True.
So
he also promised a part of Ukraine to Poland, which at that time Polish president, he just stood up tall and said, that's crazy. We're not going to be participating in these medieval practices. We are for the secure world, for the new world. We live in the 21st century, not in the 16th. And hats off to the Polish leader.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how Hungary is still in the EU, because it's the most corrupt country. They openly support Russia.
Yeah, they're completely the opposite of what the whole thing is supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure about procedures. Has anyone ever been kicked out of the EU?
Well,
voluntary
there was a
departure.
Brexit.
Yeah, but that was voluntary on the part of England.
Yeah.
I think the EU and NATO are very reluctant to kick anybody out because it sets a precedent that, okay, the moment we're having any kind of issues with you, we kick you out as punishment rather than negotiating. And, you know, particularly with NATO, when the whole thing is a collective security arrangement and, oh, Latvia just got attacked, kick them out of NATO so we don't have to honor our commitment.
Yeah, right. You know,
that's why people are very reluctant to do that. And they're hoping by keeping them in, eventually a more moderate, sensible government will come to power and everything will go back to what it should be.
Yeah.
Orban has been a dictator. That's the thing.
I know.
Hungary is not democratic anymore. And he also has full control of the media in Hungary. A true dictator, really. A toad dictator.
And also, it's important to look at Hungary today as something that Russia does. Because Russia, and it doesn't matter if it's Russia, if it's Putin, if it's before Putin, Russia is good at recruiting. You know that Hungary was attacked in 1956 by Soviet Union. So the tanks of Soviet Union were there. My father, as a young 18-year-old army, he was in Hungary. You know, of course, he did not view this through the lens that we're viewing it right now. It was an invasion.
Yeah.
He thought like, oh, we're liberating Hungary from the oppressive, you know, capitalist, evil West,
Right.
you know. And then 12 years later, in 1968, Soviet Union rolled its tanks into Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic and Slovakia. And right now, all these years later, we have a president of Slovakia who is a huge supporter of Russia, just like a president of Hungary is a huge supporter of Russia, the two countries where Russia had its hold, where they brutally, just militarily invaded these countries. They recruited a bunch of people. Of course, they would, at that time, they would spread the great Russian literature. Look at, you know, Dostoevsky and like our great Russian ballet. You know, they get hooked people on all this stuff. So they're Russia sympathizers. They keep tabs on everyone who is sympathizing with Russia. They're calling that canned food. Slavi knows probably about that a lot. And they have all these canned foods all around Europe. So today it's Orban in Hungary. Today it's Fico in Slovakia. But yesterday it was a German guy. The German guy was a full Russian asset. You know, we just got elected a new guy who is not, you know, but tomorrow it could be somebody in France. Right now, Trump is definitely a recruit of Russia KGB. He's a Russian asset. At least he's doing everything as one. So it doesn't matter if he is or isn't really, you know. And we should be prepared for what's.
Oh, definitely.
For what's coming.
But while this person's still here, because they just got muted, so they might be gone. There's a viewer in the live chat, Alina's a Vatnik kisser or something. I can't remember what the username is. But just because you're being such a good little troll in the chat, you get the troll snail. I brought him out of retirement. This is right for you. There you go. Now sit down and let the adults talk, will you? All right.
Oh, her name is Alina the Vatnik kisser.
Oh, I played with the second part.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just me being a jerk, but something around there, just, you know.
I believe it. I
notice that the snail is never crept on you, Dick.
Also, the next question, thank you to Spider Fella for bringing this up. and it's saying, do you know much about the murder in Lviv of a key Maidan figure, Andrei Porubin? I did see this morning that Zelensky said that he's gone.
Yeah.
He was parliament speaker. It was a targeted shooting. It was a guy that was dressed in a courier uniform on a scooter.
Yeah.
He shot him, and it's sad. Last time I checked, and it happened in Lviv.
Yeah.
And last time I checked, they're still investigating everything, and the city is on lockdown. I mean, obviously, they're gonna turn it inside out now to find. But who's behind this?
I mean, you know, it's probably Alina's the Vatnik kisser in the chat there, right? No, I think we all know how this happened.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this guy, he was the main politician behind Euromaidan. Yeah, he was. I don't know much about him, but from what I looked up on him this morning, he's done a lot of good stuff and good steps towards Ukraine.
Yeah,
taking steps to being integrated into EU.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very much. What I was seeing as well marks this guy out to be a good forward thinker, modern kind of leader that was very much, you know, doing the right thing and helping for the right reasons, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is war. It's what Russia is doing. You know, it's a great example. This is a guy who is Ukrainian patriot. He cannot be recruited. He says the right things.
Yeah.
He calls Russia what it is, a genocidal fascist country. And he's on the list of, he's on a Russian hit list.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot more people are on Russian hit list. It's just Russia didn't get to them. You know,
Yeah.
Zelensky is on Russian hit list. Lots of bloggers. Some of them already died. Some of them survived the attacks. Some of them are yet waiting. This is what's happening. This is what Russia is doing.
What's crazy, this was in Lviv that they got somebody to do that.
Yeah.
That's
Very much.
Yeah.
There was shoot. I forgot to leave my links open.
See, this is why Zelensky was all about security of the country. When people are complaining, anti-corruption protests, he's a dictator. He was worried about national defense.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, you have to think in terms of war. Russia is not playing games. They're going to shoot you in the street, and they're going to use your neighbors to do it. They're going to pay them. They're going to lie to them. They're going to use whoever they have, like the canned food. You know, they're going to uncan that food. They're going to use it. They don't care about what happens to that person once they shoot, if they've been lied to, if their mother was threatened or whatever. You know, this is war. You know, you have to think about it as war. Zelensky is playing with this liberal, you know, ideas. Oh, we have a free country. We're not trying to be like, I'm not a dictator. He's doing all these steps that the rose glasses colored West sees. Oh, he's very nice, this Zelensky. I like him more than Putin. But this is a brutal war. You know, and some steps are absolutely justified what Zelensky is doing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you guys know, and the viewers, how I stood up for Zelensky when the whole anti-corruption thing was going on. I'm like, why am I the only one saying this? Like, that was wild to me, and that's why some certain Ukrainian publications really pissed me off. I was not expecting it.
So we should do a little reminder here. We've got the Car for Ukraine fundraiser going. We'll get the link in the live chat here. We've also got the painting by Dunk of Operator Starsky that's being auctioned off. That's over with a link where Rick the Ukrainian does his auctions because, well, he knows what he's doing. So we got him wrapped up in it to make sure it's good. And that is the link that's also pinned at the top of our live chat as well. I do have a shout out here with UTV and Ham sending in a $5 super chat. Thank you all for having the Saturday show. Slava Ukraine. Here home Slava, buddy. Oh, good shout. Thanks, man. Really cool, UTV.
Also, thank you so much to SSW Customs for your super chat saying thank you, indivisible on the West Coast, USA.
Yeah.
West Coast.
Cool. Awesome. Couldn't agree more. Time-wise, we're still pretty good. All right.
I have some really good questions in chat here. Here's a question from Stephen Walsh. What does it say about humans entertaining the loser ruse? It should be very simple to defeat this menace. We're losing morality in this world. What can I say?
It's defeating them would require a consensus that everybody is going to actively join the conflict. And I don't think that's likely to happen simply because, they're democratic governments and people generally don't want to get involved in a war for obvious reasons. So it's more a matter of you can send equipment and you're going to have a lot fewer objections. So I think that's the key decision. But yeah, if everybody actually stood up and NATO sent even just small contingents to assist, the war would kind of already be over, particularly because NATO would establish air supremacy over Ukraine very, very quickly.
I mean, that's what I said also in the beginning. Europe is still dragging its feet. Like, I see so many people applauding Europe, like, yeah, like, you guys finally, like, waking. No. They really, it's all talk, really. Because whatever happened to, like, having backup in terms of, like, training, not on the front line, but backup. What are we waiting for? Where is this coalition of the willing? How they're not very willing now, are they?
Yeah. And it's understandable. I mean, I'm not happy that it's happening that way, but to be honest, it's one of those, it's predictable that it's happening the way it is.
I mean, this is Europe's war. It's on their continent. They're next. So it's better now than, was it 2, 5, 10 years?
Yeah, but, and you look at the reaction in 1938 when Chamberlain gets off the airplane and is waving that little piece of paper saying, "Peace in our time." He was the hero of the hour, not just in Britain, but pretty much across Europe, because they saw that as preventing another great war from breaking out. And that was still very fresh in everyone's memory. They were terrified of the kind of casualties that resulted from a modern war like that. And we saw how well and how long that piece of paper held up. It's people engaging in wishful thinking. They don't want to look at the reality because the reality should tell them that's not going to work. The only way to stop this bully is to bash him in the nose.
That's an amazing point. The way that was phrased, that's exactly what happened. Chamberlain was the hero of the hour. Oh, yeah. So, and that's exactly the problem with, like, all of the modern politics and what Russia is exploiting and using against us, because our politicians think in terms of an election cycle. They get elected, and that's what makes us weak, kind of. At least that's what the weakness that Russia is trying to expose to some benefit to them. For example, we had President Biden, and while our country was ravaged by just invasion of Russian information in cyberspace, the President Biden and the whole democratic thing was interested in preserving a good face, that everything is fine, that they're protecting us, but they're not. They're exposing us they had to ring alarm bells. They have to say, listen, we're under attack. But that's not good for the election cycle, because the Republicans are going to step up to the plate and say, oh, listen, these Democrats are exposing us to Russian attacks. But whoever says it or doesn't say it, we are exposed to these Russian attacks. And actually, Republicans, instead of exposing them, they capitalized on them, because they are using it to their advantage. Russia is going to promote and boost anyone who is saying Russia is a friend, and they get in power over here in the United States. They also get in power all across Europe, as long as they're supporting Russian message, because Russia is going to boost them. They're going to send an army of cyber supporters. They're going to send army of likes. They're also going to personally send you money into your bank account through the companies that they're establishing over here in the United States and in Europe. Like they paid Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, all this, their channels just rose like mushrooms during rain. Let's say if Dick Dawson, promises to say one good thing about Russia a week, and he gets $100,000, like Tim Pool was being paid per week, $100,000. In 4 weeks, it's $400,000. In 2.5 months, he's a millionaire. He can invest into this channel. This channel is going to have 9 million viewers by the end of the year. You can promote each video with each small video with $1,000 budgets, and go from there. That's how easy and beneficial it is to support Russia, but it's detrimental for our survival. And that's what Russia is exploiting.
And your mental health.
By the way, this reminds me, there's a huge scandal going on right now from people on the left, the Democratic pro-democracy creators. Apparently, there was a group, and a few of them, smells of Russia, but a few of them started to get paid. And so then an article by this chick comes out saying she's a Democrat, so she says as well, but comes out saying that, oh, they're getting paid, it's dark money. I mean, this is, it just reeks of, Russia destroying from within, because now all the left, they're, going at each other, like, is it dark money? And so I commented, I'm like, who gives a fuck about dark money when we have fascism to worry about right now? And when people on the right are getting Kremlin blood money, and you're talking about this dark, what the fuck is it even a dark money? I don't even know. But yeah, huge scandal, and sucks.
Can I tag on to that a little bit? Or after Commander?
To answer her question, dark money means money that's not traceable.
Yeah. Can I tag on to that a little bit? We actually...
It can be crypto, or it's stuff that's routed through multiple banks in countries that have very restrictive banking laws. So like Switzerland or the Cayman Islands or whatever, where there's no way to track whose account that really is.
By the way, it's not, a bunch of these creators came out and said this isn't like dark money, and whoever is actually getting paid, because a lot of them, it's like some fellowship, like to just, be better, to try not to be the loser side now, because the left was really, lacking certain things when during election and stuff. And remember the whole charts of like all the red bubbles, all the red craters, and then there's just like little dots of like the blue.
Yeah.
They're just trying for that like not to happen. While the right is getting funded by the Kremlin. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah, Tim Pool is such a scumbag. I bet his own pecker won't get stiff for him when he wants to sit down at the computer and watch OnlyFans, you know?
I think he even accepted rubles at one point.
I wouldn't doubt it.
They didn't say who it was, but Tim Pool, like, let's be honest here. He's the most moronic one of them. And he accepted rubles. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Man's a human walking pile of dog shit.
Also, Broadcast Cat is saying, good one to bring it up as well. Have you heard the Germans think that Russia's flying reconnaissance drones over the country to scout out military infrastructure?
Wow.
Yeah, I heard that they were flying them over Germany, and I was like, how is that possible? Are they doing it from Kaliningrad, or like how are they getting their drones over Germany?
Wow.
Why isn't Germany shooting it down?
Interesting.
Good question.
You know, civilian population location stuff. There's got to be some restrictions on, you know, not being in wartime, shooting shit out of the sky, right?
Yeah, true. But, you know, with all that great German engineering,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
can figure out how to.
You know.
Also, a NATO, American, like, Navy plane got intercepted by a Russian plane, I forget what it was, but a Russian jet over the Black Sea.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I guess NATO was doing its operations over the Black Sea. And it was the American Navy, actually. I don't know, maybe Commander McMillan, have you?
Yeah, it's a standard thing that they do, which is fly patrol aircraft either in the Baltic or the Black Sea, or even, you know, up in the Pacific Ocean, the Russian Pacific coast there. And it's just a patrol to see what they see and monitor things. And it's not unusual for the Russians, just as when they did it to us, we'd do the same, to send out an interceptor to go just shadow the guy around.
Yeah.
It's letting him know, hey, I see you. You're not pulling any fast ones on us. And B, to try to intimidate that country into saying, well, maybe we're going to stop doing this.
Is it normal or usual that, I wish I knew what plane it was, but it was on the American plane, it had a missile attached to it at the bottom.
That probably would suggest that it's a plane off of a carrier, but there are no carriers operating in the Black Sea because it's the Montreux Convention prevents them from doing that. I suspect it would be a like a P3 or a P8, which are maritime patrol aircraft. They're long-range aircraft that'll stay out for 12, 16 hours flying patrols, and they use radar and sonobuoys to just see what they see out there and report it back. So that's probably what it was.
That makes sense.
Somebody saying it's British, and if it was British, it's probably a Nimrod then. That's the aircraft they use.
I always thought that was such a stupid name. When I was a kid, Nimrod was...
mythology.
Hey?
It's not stupid. It's from Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And the Brits have a long history of using names from Greek mythology.
But when I was younger, Nimrod was, you're insulting somebody, right? I didn't know that. Yeah, exactly.
But I suspect that the old codgers who came up with the name were completely oblivious to that fact.
Yeah, they didn't realize they were calling it a dumbass.
I hadn't realized they decommissioned them, Demon. Interesting.
Also, right now, the Brunel Venice Film Festival has started, and another year, another payment by the Russians to be in the festival. They put up a Russian flag. Got all these flags, I guess, participating countries right in the middle. That ugly ass Russian flag I mean, it just shows. And they have big Russian director showing a few films as well. But Russians have been paying off that specific festival. I don't know if you guys remember last year, they did end up or played Russians at War, the Trofimova documentary.
Yeah.
Which they ended up canceling. There was a whole thing for Toronto Film Festival, but Venice Film Festival specifically did go on and play it because it's art, apparently. And if anything, it's so they always say, "Oh, we don't want to be political about things," but if you're doing politics here, it's.
There's a Greg Terry in the chat there. Hey, buddy. He was saying, 100% RU recon drone. And it's crazy good, sorry to say. I'm pretty sure we're talking about Germany here. The second comment to that was, looks exactly like a bird. So that's something definitely designed to be flying around in cities and, populated areas, right? Oh, yeah. Interesting. I got to look into this more. God. But there's got to be a way that it gives itself away. Like somebody will figure it out for sure, Oh, he says it over his head in Ukraine right now. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. That sucks. Yeah, looking just like a bird.
They're flying these drones over Ukraine freely?
Yeah. Yeah, he just saw it.
So if we can get back to this Venice festival, I saw that flag. Of course, I felt the embarrassment, It's in Venice, Italy. And important point to keep in mind right now that Russia is investing in any kind of information space, especially lately they're investing into movies and cartoons. They're producing their own movies and cartoons. They're also paying directors in Hollywood and across everywhere to put Russian messages into their films. Like if you are a movie director, if you are some kind of producer, you're short on funding. Russia is not short on funding. They don't have money to do water or toilets in Russia, but they always have money to spread their message, Russian message.
Yeah.
So every time when you turn on TV, when you watch a movie, there's some Russian something showing up.
Not all, but like what happened at the Oscars, and when a movie needs funding, and it's in Hollywood, it's tough to get funding these days.
Yeah.
But they just swoop in to save the day, and they'll be like, well, you need to put this, and that in the movie, and then you'll get your money. And yes, I mean, there's morally corrupt, people everywhere.
Oh,
but for the most part, Hollywood can't stand Russians. But not everybody has the money to make a movie. So
they can't stand millions of dollars that Russia will pay.
Yeah.
And if they cannot stand $5 million, Russia will do $20 million. If Russia is very interested in putting their messages out there. And
all the little bits add up, right?
Exactly. And they have successes. It's paying off because to launch one day of missiles onto Ukraine, it's $1 billion for Russia. Yeah. So they definitely, if they give you 20 million today, it's going to save them $1 billion tomorrow. It's a very good investment for Russia. And for a regular person,
it's also very subtle. The way they do it. People, it's not, you don't have some star standing up saying, the Russians are wonderful people. What you get is something like the movie showed Russia as being a country that invaded somebody, and instead they changed the name from Russia to Krasnovia or something.
Yeah.
It's really subtle like that, but you're not thinking of Russia in a negative light when they do these little changes. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
And then especially there's a lot of films like Russians at War where they'll be like, oh, this fucking obsession of the West of showing both sides. The both sides need to be shown. And Russia knows that. So they're like, yeah, look at our soldiers that are killing and raping little girls, Ukrainian little girls, but for them, we have to take a look. Why? We have to understand why they're doing it.
Yeah.
When they don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think the stupidity of looking at both sides and having moral equivalence, it has to go, because this specific war is very black and white. It's as black as white as it gets.
Yep. There's no ifs, ands, or buts in it. I agree.
Yeah.
And also when it comes to RAPE with Russia, it's of course it's little girls, but to Russians, it's such a cultural thing. It deserves its own stream, but basically it could be boys, it could be girls, it could be people. In first month of invasion, it was old man up to 73 years old and a baby 10 months old, so it was all those stretches. In fact, the one for 10 months old baby was recorded on a phone and sent out to their relatives. Look what I'm doing. And then it went around the world.
Graphic warning, guys.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah. Let's not dwell on this one for long, just because, yeah.
I mean, the world must know.
Yeah.
But just a warning ahead.
And it's kind of, definitely the warning, but also it's kind of troublesome that Russia is doing all these things and they're kind of counting on us to be civilized, and our audience are being very fragile. So we cannot even talk about those things, because that's not even the worst thing that Russia is doing, and they're counting on us to be like pussyfooting all of this. And I understand that. I'm not trying to put this into people's heads. I know people who were close to that issue, they lost their minds. I think there was this lady who was in charge of like children's safety in Ukraine at that time. She completely lost her mind. They had to retire her because she could not process, and she was kept saying about, children, RAP, children, and they're like, stop saying it. You have a duty, you have a job, and she couldn't get out of it. And Russia made fun of her for like not being able to, to process it emotionally and just losing her mind. And Russia said, look at these stupid Ukrainians. They're all saying, and then they also said that what she said is not true, that Russians are doing that to children, because that's a crazy person saying that, as she was crazy at that time.
Yeah. So I bet we have a few more questions we can get into here as well. We do have to be careful. You get on the bad side of YouTube by talking about things that are a little too nasty, and whoa, do they get angry in the background? It's
I definitely learned that, even showing images of like when a missile hits like Kiev.
Yeah.
If you show those images, no visibility on those videos.
Yeah,
and I learned that.
Only very few people who get it in the very beginning, as they're showing that kind of stuff, seem to be able to get away with it at all, and then everybody else who tries after gets totally stomped on for doing it. YouTube's just gotta, I guess if you get to a certain level, they're like, we're gonna let it go because of the ad revenues and stuff, or whatever it is, right? I'm sure with YouTube it always comes down to the dollars. It's how you can anticipate how they're gonna treat you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. Should we go to a few questions?
Yeah.
All right. Got a question from Spider Fate Fella. Do you know how much? Oh, sorry, we did that one. Next one is from Commander Macmillan. I'm wondering if they will remove Trump and put Vance before the House flips, despite Vance being widely disliked.
They will try to avoid that. Vance does not command the same respect with the MAGA base, and they know that. And there's a lot of concern that if you put him at the front and push Trump to the rear, that a lot of the base will simply not show up to the polls. So they're going to try to keep Trump in position as long as they can. So it literally will be a version of the old man on the, Lenin's tomb.
Yeah.
A little, somebody with a little pole waving his hand back and forth.
Yeah, like a bobblehead on a dashboard.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole idea, is they will keep him going as long as they can. I mean, there have been enough incidents already with him running off at the mouth and embarrassing them and such.
Yeah.
And yet they keep pushing him forward because they know the cult of personality that has been built up in MAGA circles around him is the only thing that keeps the train going.
Yeah, I mean, if it becomes true, Commander, that like Trump is lethally ill right now, or whatever, I don't see a way that the Republican Party can hold it together, because without that focal point, there is quite a bit of dissension in the ranks. Truly,
yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, the Republican base right now that they built the entire modern version of the GOP on is, depending on how you want to divide it, 3 or 4 different factions who in some cases hate one another more than they actually hate the Democrats.
Yeah.
But Trump's cult of personality has managed to keep that big blobby mass congealed around him. And if he goes away, do you think Vance has the gravitas, the following, the charisma to keep that mess together? And I don't see it.
No.
And I think the true powers behind the throne of the GOP, the dark money matters and everything, I think they're aware of this. And so they're going to do everything they can to keep Trump, or a semblance of Trump, in power for as long as possible. I mean, there was a movie, and I can't remember the name.
Weekend at Bernie's.
No. It's about just this, where the president has, some sort of stroke or something. Huh?
There's Dave.
Thank you.
And then there's also, they did it, what's his name there? There's a one where the guy's in Rio and he looks just like the president or whatever, who kicks the bucket from like the early 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's possibly what they will attempt to do, just to keep this rolling. They know that if they can get through the midterms, they have another 2 years to get everything done. And that's what they're trying to do, is set it up that they control the presidency, they control both chambers and the Supreme Court for another 2 years. And pretty much the entirety of the 2025 plan will be enacted by that point.
Yeah, I think it's about like 80% done of the project.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how much they've done in, 6 months, basically.
Yeah.
What do you think will happen? Because, I mean, constitutionally, even Vance is up next if anything happens to Trump?
Let's assume that Trump either is declared incapacitated or dies. Vance comes to power. The real fight is going to be not keeping the Dems out so much as keeping the party together to hold what they have currently, I think.
Yeah.
The whole thing that you're seeing going on right now in Texas, for example, with the redistricting and so forth, that's all predicated on the assumption that Trump's going to be around.
Mm.
And
by the way, here in California, we know all about it because we're also doing it to get more.
The trouble is Newsom is under an enormous pressure to get it done quickly because he has to get it approved by voters, unlike Abbott, who just gets to, stand on his little pulpit and declare this is the truth, and everybody proudly, like Texans, salutes.
Yeah.
People going to vote in November on this. Yeah.
But then you have to run it
when
again.
exactly in November?
Early.
7.
It's usually like the second or first Tuesday in the month or whatever.
Because my birthday is in November. Maybe I'll get a good birthday present.
Cool.
Everyone is going to be kicked out of the...
I hate to be a pessimist, but don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Yeah. I hope California pulls it off, but because they are going to the people with it, this is no guarantee.
Right, but it's two-phased. The first one isn't, we're going to do it, approve this. The first one is simply to get approval to attempt to put it on the ballot.
Right.
So it's really tight. And there are other states, blue states, that are considering trying to do it as well. But for example, New York being a case in point, they actually have to change the state constitution to be able to do it.
Yeah, I think somewhere else too, they've already put themselves in a position where it's an independent body that does this. And there's no way to really do it without constitutional changes, which is, that's a big ask over something like this. But it's a worthy fight. I'm not sure where I'd land on that, Yeah, no,
it's true. So it's a case of let's hope and see how it comes out.
Yeah. Quick reminder here about the Starsky portrait auction that's going on here. Dunk painted that. Little backstory. Why do we have a portrait of Starsky that was painted? Well, we have a Ukraine show because of meeting Starsky and starting to do Ukraine update every Saturday. So, I think we're one of the first channels he was even a guest on. It was right in the beginning, as soon as everything started happening and tanks were crossing the roads. We met Starsky about 7 days into the invasion or something. So, but yeah, bidding starts at $200. It's a proper acrylic on canvas, as you can see there. And yeah, it's a really, really slick painting. Dunk did some seriously cool work.
Yeah.
And the link to it is the pinned comment in the top of the live chat. That's how you get to the auction.
I'm just glad it's not an oil painting of baby Starsky.
That's a creepy little comic thing we've got, eh?
We have a couple of good things to debunk here. Can we please bring up the false rumor of Ukraine sending developmentally disabled people to the front? Lately, it has been more spread around. Thank you. This is from SSW.
The other way around.
Yeah.
The Russians are definitely sending mentally impaired people to the front.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen they're missing limbs and everything. I mean, they're sending not only orcs with missing limbs, but they're not even giving them weapons, just meat waves.
Well,
they're targets.
But this just touches on something I wanted to talk about, so I'm going to move the conversation that direction. But originally what they would do with some of these medical infirm cases or old people that they knew weren't going to be able to cope, they'd use them as recon by wet body. Send them out, see where the enemy guns are when they kill the guy. What they're doing now is sending out small parties of between 4 to 6 personnel to infiltrate through Ukrainian lines to a pre-designated assembly point behind the lines. So you send out lots of these little 5-man squads, and they get through and they congeal in that one area, and that becomes a base of operations to attack Ukrainian front lines from the back.
Yeah.
And they've had some success with it. The Ukrainians have also figured out that the way you deal with that is the moment you identify where one of these little concentrations is, you immediately counterattack because they don't have any heavy weapons or anything with them. So it's fairly easy to eliminate them.
Yeah.
I also saw that Russia is sending a lot of HIV-infected orcs as well.
Yeah, that's what somebody was just saying in the live chat as well. You know?
Yeah.
And in comparison to Ukraine, but to be in Ukrainian army, you have to do a physical test. I'm certain you have to do a mental test as well. I mean, whatever. Because I remember there was a video going around by Russian propaganda about a Ukrainian disabled or mentally challenged person being on the front. But I mean, Russians, they spread these videos. And remember, anything that Russia blames Ukraine for doing, Russia is doing exactly that.
100%.
It's an admission of guilt.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more there. Absolutely.
And also, you know, all these Russians are going to the front lines willingly. They all get this huge sign-on bonuses, which is like a life-changing amount of money. All their mothers, all their wives are just, their wives are just pushing them out of the house. They say, go to the front line. You're going to be a hero. I don't know, Slavy, have you seen that video? It was going around just like last week about this mother. Basically, this guy, Russian guy, he's recording his mother grilling him for not going to the front lines. And he looks normal, like a normal Russian guy, maybe IT guy. He doesn't look like a killer, like a murderer or anything like that. So he puts his mother on the phone, and she's just grilling him like in a toxic way, like, you're trying to survive but you're killing us. We live with the shame of you not going to the front lines. What are you afraid of? You're a coward. You're killing us. You're gonna be a hero. You're gonna get a medal. You don't love your country. And it's just going on. It's like a video is like 2 minutes, but the toxicity of enormous.
Wow.
It's, in the second year of the full-scale invasion, there was a fantastic, very chilling documentary that came out called Intercepted. And it was intercepted calls between Russian orcs talking to their mothers or wives back home. And there's full conversations of them, and it's listening into it is very tough, but I recommend for people to watch this documentary to understand Russia, how they think, because it's, I mean, you have wives telling these orcs to go ahead, rape women, do whatever, and then kill her. Like,
wow. Exactly.
Yeah, it's... Then there's, you know, women, Russian women. There's like a podcast going around, and these women are, you know, basically made a business out of, I guess, marrying an orc. He goes to war, he dies, they get the money, they go on to the next one. It's a whole business in Russia.
Wow.
And that's only 2 businesses that are booming right now in Russia is, you know, Russian prostitutes getting married to orcs, And then the other one is a funeral business.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like mafia ran huge funeral business.
Mm.
Another thing that's a corollary of this is because such high bonus payments are being promised to the Russians that join up, that those people are leaving the factories in defense industries to go to the front.
Oh.
So there are cases where a plant that's producing tanks, for example, has had to cut back to a single shift because they don't have the workers to make 2 or 3 shifts, which is the
Wow.
normal way they did business. Because there simply
Holy.
isn't anybody to run the factory for them.
Yeah.
Wow. That's not sustainable in their present course of action.
You think?
I have another
Mm.
question from Broadcast Cat. Guess it's to me, but we'll open it to the panel. But Russia is putting children up for adoption on a website. Is this worse or just as bad as Epstein? And why are the MAGA not up in arms about this? I don't want to go which one is worse.
Yeah.
All crimes are, that has to do with sexual exploitation and human trafficking are pretty fucking horrible. I will say that what Russia is doing with Ukrainian children, they're doing it openly.
Yeah.
Epstein, at least at the time he hid it. Russia is doing it openly, and what makes it so much worse, the world knows about it.
Yep.
And does nothing. So that's pretty brutal. I have to say that's bad.
Should be reason enough for other countries to be involved.
And why are MAGA not up in arms about this? About Epstein list, or
well, about the whole this topic of conversation in general is because they're not allowed to be, because Trump is owned. Trump might as well be a Russian spy.
Can I bring up a quick news story of yesterday? President Zelensky officially signed a law that enshrines the term Russism for the first time at the state level. So basically, according to the official definition, it's a type of totalitarian ideology and practices underlying the regime formed in Russia, which includes Russian chauvinism, imperialism, practices of the totalitarian communist regime, and National Socialism, Nazism. So, as a term, Russism exists now. We're not just a bunch of angry Russophobes. We're like champions of academic sociology studies.
There we
All
go.
of us here, we're just, we like to study, sociology, political science. We're students and teachers, and one professor over there calling himself commander, at some point, somebody's gonna outline all these tenets of Russism, and gonna go down in history. It could be any one of us. Not me, because I'm not organized enough. But how Umberto Eco, he laid out the tenets of fascism, and that's what people, they try to see. There's 14 tenets, and Russia lines up perfectly with all of them.
Yep.
But of course, Russia is far more interesting and unique. The Nazis, they didn't infiltrate other governments. They didn't infiltrate. They didn't recruit as aggressively as Russia into other governments, into information spaces all around the world. So we're here dealing with a new threat that maybe, is unique in many ways, and it's worth noting that and studying it.
Yeah. I'm just checking all the stuff in the background here. Lots to keep up on when you're running one of these shows.
Thank you so much to Spider Faked Fella for a fist bump super chat. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Also, Stephen Wall. Thank you so much for your super chat. And saying Alaska intercepted an IL-20M 3 times. Hope I'm saying that right. In the last week, had the E-3 fly over my house on Sunday. Very loud aircraft.
Oh.
Yeah, that's super Russian aircraft. Il-28, right? That's
Il-20.
20? Yeah, that's an old bomber, old Russian bomber. I mean,
Yep. Yeah, its NATO reporting name is Coot. It was a cargo airplane, basically, and it's been converted into ELINT comment intercept aircraft. It is old. It, I think, first seen in the mid-70s.
mhm.
So relatively new for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You caught me with that one, you sneaky bastard.
Russia is in short supply of airplanes as of lately due to some Ukrainian activity in the area.
Also, I saw that Russians are, and this is a huge win as well, that there's, some Kremlin analysts finally admitted that Russia is in recession and Russia hides everything. So for these guys to say, yeah, we're in recession, things must be really fucking bad.
Mm.
And I also want to be very cautious with this because I just don't trust Russia when they divulge that information. It could be information tactic on their part, to kind of make us lower the guard, or to expect that they fall apart anytime soon. That could be something to look out for as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Russia is like, oh, poor us, cry wolf, lift the sanctions now.
They cry wolf a lot,
Yes.
as we know. That's one of their tactics. And only because it's working.
Yeah.
Last is saying, what are the odds Trump is hiding because his spies were outed in Denmark?
Oh, yeah. Gabbard there and that big screw up.
Yes. She, by the way, the skunk, she outed, I have no other name for her. She outed one of the CIA spies who was doing an operation in Russia.
Yeah. We should call her Pepe Le Pew,
That's cute.
That's true. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Call her the female Aldrich Ames. Now that's the level of treason that she's engaged in.
Yeah.
I totally believe that she is a Kremlin plant. Like there's
100%.
Yeah. Trump was told he had to bring her in.
I followed her the whole thing because it just got onto my radar. She was a Democratic something in Hawaii, because Hawaii is like super Democratic. It's almost as like California. And basically she started saying Russian propaganda. And sometimes you can get mixed up in the information. There's so much going on, and you can just repeat Russian propaganda. But Russian propaganda is very particular because it's on a timeline. You have to start saying certain things at a certain time, and then you have to stop saying them at a certain time. For example, Tulsi Gabbard, she was speaking about biolabs. So at the first days of invasion, Russia said there's like biolabs, and she was saying that. But as soon as Russia captured all those cities, they could present the pictures of biolabs and say, look, these are the biolabs. So Russians don't do that. They just stop saying that and continue with the next propaganda point. And as soon as they stopped, Tulsi Gabbard stopped. and she started with the next propaganda. So those was very particular and peculiar for me.
Yeah.
Instead of admitting, oh, maybe I got fooled, there's no biolabs. Oh, can you show us the pictures of biolabs? She just on the dot, just like a Russian paid actor.
Yeah.
She flipped. So at that point, I started noticing her, and I'm like, no way she's not paid by Russia unless she's stupid, because Russia will pay for that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She'd be dumb enough to do it for free, right?
yeah. So
many of them are.
True.
Yeah, her questionable political activities go back quite a ways. Her family were really big in some sort of religious cult sort of thing. And when they got hit with injunctions and such over that money started to dry up. And about the same time, you start seeing these pro-Russian things coming out of her. So
wow.
Changing one cash flow line into another.
Yeah, exactly. We're running up on our time limit here rapidly. So we got a direct Ko-Fi shout out there from Johnny C in the chat. From Days Gone By. Slava Ukraine. Slava Hero or Heroam Slava. I'm sorry there. And $25 direct shout too. So into the pile it goes. Thank you there, Johnny. Very, very, very much. And I think I am caught up. So we should probably kick into our wrap up so we can get our 2 p.m. Pacific time limit in. I know both Commander and I have to be done right at 2.
Right. Well, why don't we start with our final thoughts, Johnny? Anything you'd like to close with, and where can people find you, your channel, or wherever?
Please come to my channel. It's Young Ukrainians on YouTube. If you just do @Young Ukrainians at YouTube search, you should stumble up on my humble channel. But it's kind of growing as of late. After last stream, we gained 33 proud supporters of my humble craft. So I'm now at 85. All right. Yeah. So come on, say hello. We're doing interesting. There's nothing more interesting than study of Russianism these days. So come, enjoy yourself, get your views be heard and repeated, and let's do this together. We have a war to win.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for being here, and hopefully we'll see you back next week.
Thank you.
Cool.
Commander Macmillan, any final thoughts for this week?
2. One of them is that it appears that the Russian attempts at conducting a summer offensive have pretty much petered out without any notable successes. They're still pushing, but not at the same level of effort that they were prior to this. It looks like both Ukrainian defenses held, and in particular, some very specific Ukrainian counterattacks did enormous damage.
Yeah.
The Russian assault columns. So just thought that was an interesting point that we hadn't mentioned. Secondly, my usual urging of people to keep in contact with their elected officials, regardless of whether they're red or blue. Just keep deluging them with requests to, continue to support Ukraine. Every little bit helps.
Absolutely. You can email, call, text. I always say send a pigeon, but better you call or email. Whichever way you can voice your support for Ukraine, for the leadership. Please do so.
Yeah.
Even if they're blue and already support Ukraine, call anyway.
Yeah.
That's very, very important.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, we'll give a big shout out to the team here on the Shills account. We got Mexi Girl today. We've got Annette, Shayna Caldwell, PJC Net, Carpazian, the AI Alchemist, Chris Lunday, Jose C, Liam Wakefield, and Super Chat Matt. Huge thanks to the team. Huge thanks to everybody for watching and supporting and stuff. Click those support links, make a donation, and make a difference in the fight against orcism and pure human scum. What do you think, Slavy?
Yeah, that was great. Should I do my closing or
Yes.
30 seconds? Okay. I was like, do we need to go now?
Yeah, no, go.
Yeah, I'd like to, of course, thank you to the panel for being here. Thank you to our mods on all the channels. Thank you, Annette, for helping out with the questions today. Thank you to the background crew, and thank you to everyone watching across all our channels. Also, when you donate to Ukraine, you're not giving charity, you're investing in the only future where freedom survives. When you support this channel with all the channels, with memberships and super chats, you're not just backing a live stream, you're funding the fight against propaganda, making sure truth stays louder than lies. When you share, comment, and like, you're pushing that fight further than any missile can reach. This isn't about watching the news. It's about shaping what comes next, because Ukraine's stand is the world's stand. If Russia wins with terror and lies, every democracy loses. If Ukraine is victorious, then so does the idea that the truth and courage can still change history. So stay with us. Come back next Saturday to all our shows. Subscribe if you're new here. Thank you for being here. And to everyone, please keep showing up, because peace isn't handed down, it's built, and every one of us has a brick in that wall. So on that note, God bless America, and Slava Ukraini.
Heroam Slava. See you soon, everybody. Take care out there.
It's over. Go home. Go.